Hi, this is Trier from the Writing Center, and I'm going to be camera off since I'm recording this with nobody in attendance. That will keep it all safe in FERPA, and you'll be able to find it on the website. So, tonight's presentation is the value of reading and subject and verb agreement. So, I'm going to start off with the value of reading because that's where my heart is with reading. And I think that if you can read, you can accomplish anything. And reading is the key that unlocks math, science, nursing, everything that you do. If you can read, you can do it even better. So, why should we read? Obviously, to gain knowledge. As you all are studying to become nurses, gaining knowledge, learning all the different parts and components and different formulas and everything that you need probably came out of a book. Another reason is it makes you smarter. It helps you grow intellectually. Third reason, it actually can help you develop empathy and understanding. If you read something, not a college textbook, if you're reading something, a novel or a play or anything, any kind of text that takes you out of where you feel safe in your comfort zone and drops you into another person's shoes, you can learn a lot about other cultures and develop empathy and understanding of maybe what other people are going through, which will help make you a better person, which is part of Nightingale's mission and vision. It also helps you with communication skills. A lot of you are saying you're not good writers. The more you read, the better you write. Um, that just kind of goes without saying. You have to practice something to get better at it. To get better at reading and writing, you have to do them. So as you read, if you pay attention to where punctuation is, how they use their quotation marks, where sentences end, where new paragraphs start, that all falls into communication skills. The fifth reason is for personal development. Just you want to be a better person. Um, Different books, religious material, I'm trying to think, psychology, any of those kind of materials that you read are going to help with personal development. Then one, it actually can reduce stress and increase relaxation if you're choosing to read something for pleasure, not probably studying the NCLEX book. That's probably not going to help you reduce your stress and increase relaxation. But if you find a series of books that you enjoy, I would personally suggest the books that are considered YA, like young adult, because they don't take a whole lot of brain power. You can kind of get into those and move through those without a lot of thought going into it, but you still get to know the characters, and it helps you with that empathy and understanding and allows you to kind of escape for a while. Cultural enrichment, I kind of talked about that with the empathy and understanding. Depending on what you're reading, you can learn about other cultures and be enriched in your own. You can also read about your own culture. Where did you come from? What are some of the cultural things that maybe your family didn't participate in, but maybe now you want to? And the last one is for entertainment. And I know probably almost every single one of you went, "What? I don't read for fun." Well, you're in college. I don't know that anybody feels like they have time to read for fun when they're in college, but it can happen and it really will help all the way around. All right. So, those are the reasons why you should read. That's the value of reading and becoming a better reader and spending time getting to know how to read and to read with changing your voice. One of the key things is to have a picture in your head when you're reading. That's how you know that you're understanding what you're reading. So we're going to transition now into the grammar part of the lesson, which is subject verb agreement. So subject verb agreement actually sounds simple. The rules that we're going to go over sound simple, but it's really unbelievably easy to overthink them. So just in theory, singular subjects need singular verbs. Plural subjects need plural verbs. So if I'm talking about one thing, my verb needs to match with that one thing. If I'm talking about more than one, which is the plural, then my verb needs to match that. So I put on the presentation. Sounds so easy, but it's not. Well, why is it not? Because our singular subjects represent one person, place, thing, or I should have added or idea, and usually do not end in s. Here over here are some examples for that. We've got blanket, computer, pencil, needle, patient, nurse. So these are all singular subjects. No s's on the end. Okay? But the opposite is true of plural subjects. And this is like a 90% chance. I mean, we can look at names like the name James, it ends in an S, it's still just one person. So that's where these rules start getting tricky. So plural subjects represent more than one and usually do end in S. So taking the same subjects from the top and bringing them down here and making them plural, we go from blanket to blankets, computer to computers, pencil to pencils, needle to needles, and I bet you can guess the last two. All right, so now we're going to start adding the verbs onto this. Here, our subjects that are one do not have an S, but our verbs do. So up here, the blanket covers the child. So our singular subject has no S, but its counterpart, its matching verb, does have an S. So the blanket covers, my computer hums, that pencil writes, ouch, the needle pokes, the patient catches pneumonia, and the nurse hurries down the hall to her patient. So these all have this funky S on the end. It's funky in my brain because the subject doesn't have an S. Notice that this one went from cover to covers just by adding an S. Catches, when we end with a double consonant, we add ES to it to make it plural. And hurry is actually HURRY. And we change the Y to an I and add ES to make it a plural verb. Or I apologize, a singular verb. Okay. So now the opposite is true. So we have plural nouns, and now we're going to have plural verbs, but those verbs don't have an S on the end. So the blankets cover all the patients. The company's computers hum. Pencils write. Needles, singular of this one. Wrong again. My fault. This is where this is why I feel like it's hard. This is plural, so I need the plural of it. So it's going to be poke with no S. Patients, get the plural form, catch. Nurses, hurry. Right? So that's why I feel like it gets convoluted and a little bit confusing. If you're a native English speaker and you grew up in a house that was very focused on correct grammar, you probably can hear when the words are not being spoken correctly. Like if I said the blankets covers, that would sound wrong to you, but that is a very small percent of the population. So we can't go by how things sound, which is when I was growing up, that's what they always said. All right, so here we go with more subject verb agreement examples. So here we've got Nightingale College RN. There's only one person, one beautiful nurse standing here. And so that makes her singular. Over here we have three. nurses. That makes them plural. So more examples. One nurse draws blood. Several nurses draw blood. So we've got a plural, nurses draw. Singular, nurse draws. Nurses weigh, nurse weighs. Nurses start, nurse starts. Nurses grab, nurse grabs. Nurses administer, nurse administers. So you should see we've got an S in the subject over here and an S in the verb over here. So it's the opposite of what you would want to say. Looking at just a few examples, find the error with the subject-verb agreement. Ernest Hemingway's novel, The Sun Also Rises, examine a generation's sense of despair in the aftermath of World War I. Well, our subject on this one, let's see if this is going to actually work. Our subject on this is novel. Okay, so this is extra information. So our subject is singular, which means we need a singular verb, which means this needs to have an S on the end. So that is not correct. So titles of books, movies, novels, and other similar works are treated as singular and take a singular verb. And then remember, singular verbs generally end with an SES or IES. So let's see. Right there in gold, you can see it has novel and examines, which is the same thing that I did in red at the top. All right, moving on. In the story, the monster with the green fur crushed the rose bushes in his path. So again, singular verbs generally end with SES or IES. So take a second and think, what is the subject of this sentence? Who or what is being talked about? It's going to be the monster. And what does he do? He crushes. So he's singular. So his singular verb is crushes. Because saying the monster crush the rose bushes is not accurate. Next one, during the game, the children hides behind the thick velvet curtains while I count to 10. Okay, so think for a second, what is the subject? I'm giving you a hint, and it is now a plural subject. The subject is children. And so we're going to say the children hide behind the thick velvet curtains. All right. So a little reminder, if two subjects are joined by and, they typically require a plural form of the verb. So for example, usually my mother and father. So mother and father, that's two people. That makes it plural. So celebrates the new year by dancing until midnight. So we know mother and father is our subject, and that means it goes with celebrate. So mother and father celebrate the new year, not celebrates. Okay. Both of us plays the banjo, but Janet also plays the flute. Little verbs again. So both of us play. That word both lets you know that it was a plural, and so you did not need your S on plays. All right, here we're getting jiggy with it now. All right, these are to be verbs. To be verbs, you may remember back from like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade where there was a song that was like am, is, are, was, were, being, been, and it was like teachers would turn it into a rap. Sometimes they turned it into a poem. You had to memorize it, all of that kind of stuff. So we're not doing that, but I do want to point out to you what they are. So to be means you exist. So Sally is here. I am saying to you that Sally is in my existence. She is here with me. It also can mean to occur. Our meeting was last week. So the to be verb is was, and it's helping you know when it happened. So when it occurred. Or to be can also mean have the characteristics of something. So Johnny is a shy young man. So Johnny is your subject, is your verb, but you've got to add to that. So this is more of like a helping linking verb because Johnny is not a complete sentence. He is what? Lost, found, gone, living in Alaska. What? Well, it's that he's a shy young man. So these are pretty difficult to kind of pull out of your head, but they are used pretty often. So here are a couple of charts. So if we're doing simple present, then your singular is going to be am, are, is, and plural, nice and friendly, is are. So I am, you are, he, she, or it is. And over here, we are, you are, they are. Right? For past tense, it's I was, you were, he, she, or it was. And then for the plural, we, you, they are all going to be with were. And yes, you're noticing that you is in the second, for second person, it is singular and plural. So that is accurate. So that's just something to kind of tuck into your back pocket and to remember. All right. If there were people in the session tonight, I was going to break you up into groups and have you just kind of have a conversation to practice using those verbs. Because there's not, I answered a couple of them. So like a question I would ask is, what is your name? And if you asked me, I would say my name is Trier. And then my partner's name is Patrick. And you would ask me, how old are you? And I'd say, I am 49 years old. Patrick is 57 years old. When is your birthday? My birthday is. What state do you live in? I live in. What is the name of your best friend? Blank is my best friend. How many people are in my family? In my immediate family, I have 5 people. So this was just going to be a way for us to practice talking. This would be a good idea just for you to do. I've already given you the beginning sentence part, so you would just fill them in with the correct answer that applies to you, or you can totally make it up. But that could also help you with some of your writing. Okay, so here we're back to finding some errors. Fortunately, neither the Castroville River nor Yardley Lake are connected to the toxic cleanup site by surface or underground waterways. All right, so there's a key word here, which is neither. That's the same as with like the both and the and. So neither shows up. And nor shows up. So usually when you use neither, you're going to use nor. And so Castroville River nor Yardley Lake. This is a little bit confusing because you're looking at 2 different river or bodies of water and they've got them right next to each other, but they're saying nor. So it's like they're magnets that are hitting each other and breaking apart. They're not sticking together because it's using the neither nor. And so nor is singular, which means we're going to use the is, and bodies of water fall under the it category. So Castroville River is connected. Okay. And Yardley Lake is connected. And we would want to add a not. We would have to rewrite that if we broke the sentence apart. But because we put them together, we use the is. Neither the Castroville River nor Yardley Lake is connected. So we're saying nay, nay. Little bit confusing, I think. Maybe it's super simple for you. All right, Salt Lake City are home to the greatest nursing college, Nightingale. Salt Lake City, although it's 3 words, is talking about one place. it is going to be an it, which means that instead of are, we're going to want to have is. All right. So that was the end of all of the examples. We have a textbook that one of the instructors has written. I need to figure out how to I need to know how to make, oh no, I don't need you. Okay. I just wanted to click. Oh, I started subtitles. No, we don't need that. If I turn to a laser pointer, it will do what I want it to do. No. Okay, so let's back out and we'll go the old school way. All right. Oh, everything wants to be difficult. Okay. So this is going to take you to the grammar book that has been written, and we are in the process of revamping that to turn it into handouts, and that is available to you at all times. So it's free. You can download it, you can print it, you can look at it online. Noticing like here, so if you have questions, subject, verb, agreement, it's right here in the text and you can refer to it. I did not use it, so those examples should be different. Another example or another way that you can get help if you're struggling with this is through tutoring. And so I put the link for the tutoring right there. Later Gator is, I know it sounds like it's for little kids, but I don't care because you get to smash alligators when you get the right answer. And that just makes me happy. It's fun and it's actually kind of difficult. So for this one, so the Grammy Gator, blah, 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 blah. All right. So I'm working with the kids, which is plural. So when I'm thinking in my head, my verb should not end in S. Hopefully. Okay, so the kids run, firefighters take, my friends. It's in an S. So I look and I go, I think it's walk, offer. Uh-oh, we flies or we call. So, and this goes on my daughter's fly, and we'll keep playing. You can keep playing it, and playing it. And then there is a Kahoot game that is just a review, and it does have, let's see, why would you have to log in? I will fix that. I think that needs a different link. Let's see. No. Okay, so that one won't work. I'll put a different link here, and then you can play Kahoot on your own, just to have extra practice. And then here we have a video. It is actually off of an adult site, even though it looks.
Our friend Abby will teach us some action verbs.
But these are the.
So let's get up and move.
So these are the am, is, are, was, were that I talked about a little bit. She does more practice with it, and it's cute. It's super cute, and it goes over and practices with you. And that's actually off of an ESL site, so it is not a baby site. So before this is published, I'll have this Kahoot link fixed. It's because I'm logged in as Writing Center instead of as myself. So I will get that fixed. So hopefully this helped you out some with subject verb agreement. If you have any questions, you can always stop by study hall, come to tutoring, anything that we can do to help you. Make sure that you're also turning in your papers for us to correct, and use this textbook that is on the internet on the Nightingale site. So thank you for watching the webinar, and I will be back with more later.